That's right, my friends. All rumors are true. The guide is back again. Today's episode is all about smelting. It's all about building. It's all about cooking things up. And we even got a cool announcement too. Let's just jump right into it. In honor of Minecraft Guide, episode number 5, tap that like button for me, and let's go. Truly, in today's episode, we have no time to waste. We gotta build a beautiful, beautiful building by the end of the episode. To kick things off nice and early, really quick here, we need to do a little bit of smelting. And while that cooks up, please allow me to introduce you to a little bit of an upgrade here. Take a look at this. I added a path in between episodes. Ooh, it's clean. We got no soliciting sign because, we encountered an issue last episode, you could say. Now, before we head over to the berry farm, so I can show you just how good things are going, I want to craft a brand new, block. But when I say block, to be honest, I use that term really lightly, loosely. An armor stand. You see, in Minecraft, especially on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, armor stands are a beautiful way to show things off. Now, not a flex or anything, but speaking of show things off, look at our beautiful Sweet Berry Farm right here. And now, Waddle Sweet Berry Farm, it is a true icon of this world. By far, this world's biggest farm. And then honestly, in my opinion, with such a beautiful farm that's really gonna carry us so far in this world, there's only one way to mark the occasion, and that's gotta be with that brand new berry collection. Out now. In honor of the farm that is truly kicking it all off in this world. We got coats, we got shirts, we got crews, we got totes, we got pet coats too. Oh, there is brand new, fresh, summery, sweet merch out right now. Now look, this stand is for all of the new merch, but I don't have a shirt yet. It's early on, okay? We'll come back and get that clean shirt real soon here. It's probably my favorite. For now, in consolation, I think the least we could do is improve this entrance gate here a little bit more. Make it a little bit more grand. Oh, that's not a problem. Drop a log here, strip a log there, place a staircase here, maybe a slab right there. How about a slab there? Then maybe there too. A slab here, a staircase there, another slab, maybe a gate. How about a fence? You know what? I'm feeling fancy, no pun intended. Maybe a couple more too. And finally, to finish it all off, at least for now, a handful of trapdoors. Waddle Sweet Berry Farm, the brand new collection, the brand new gate, and oh my gosh, so much productivity. Yeah, this farm is such a great farm. It's gonna set us up for so much. I love berries. I love berries and fits, but it's time to get down to business. So far in this series, we talked a little bit about food last episode. We talked a tiny bit about crafting, but we haven't really talked about smelting. And we're missing something big. My heart dreams and desires for today's build. Minecraft, it's a game all about crafting. That part was kind of obvious, but maybe less obvious. It's a game all about smelting too. Let's talk. Starting with the absolute basics, smelting in Minecraft is a big crafting mechanic. If you're gonna smelt, basically, it's almost always done in a workstation called the furnace. You got a little recipe book over here to show you different smelting options, but it's not really necessary. Smelting is a pretty straightforward process. In the top, we got our input, so something you're gonna cook up. In the bottom, you've got fuel. Then you have a little timer right here and a timer right there. This timer, the fire, is indicating how much fuel you got left. This arrow right here is indicating how far along smelting something is. If I go ahead and pull something out like that, the smelting will stop. We'll have to leave it inside of the furnace. Once something is done, it'll be dropped over here. Now, most things that you smelt in Minecraft, when you take it out, you get a little bit of experience and maybe even a brand new clean recipe or two too. Now, there are a lot of different smelting tips, tricks, and hacks. Great news for you, you're at the right spot. Now, if we're going to talk all about smelting, personally, I think we need to do it in style inside of this world. We got this nice little starter house over there. We got a cool farm right in there. In between, we kind of have a lot of space, but I don't really want to, block off the starter house from over there. My dream is one day we have a path, a bridge right here, and then maybe even more path. Instead, what I think I want to do here is maybe move back into the forest a little bit, like, say, over here where I am right now. And well, look, I know the perfect guy for this job. It's time we call my good friend, Deforestals. Yeah. Now, well, my good friend Deforestals and also my other good friend Cobblestone Diggles here gets to work, I would like to ask a question. Minecraft 1.20, how's it going for you guys? Now that 1.20's been out for a couple weeks here, what is your favorite part about the update? Have you found any trim yet? Have you found a sniffer? What's going on? Down below, drop your favorite feature from Minecraft 1.20. I'd love to know. And so there we go. One small time lapse later and a small bit of land. I mean, it's not much here, but I think it'll do for today's build. Today, I would like to build a brand new smelter. To build this new smelter, we're gonna need a little bit of cleared out land. Because this is still so early on in the world, to make it a little bit easier, we're gonna work with another flat piece of land here too. With this build today, I think what I want to do is make like a build that is nice and open, like welcoming. You could just walk right in and smell things. And then I think I would like to have a caged off part that is part of the build, but like open air on the side with like a completely different roof or maybe even no roof. Now to be able to pull all of that off, I think I need to dig out a little bit more land. So hold on. In Minecraft Builder terms, the art of moving land around to make it fit better for your build or look better in general is called terraforming. Terraforming tips and tricks, you know me, I like to make a world a little bit beautiful, so we'll talk a whole lot more about it later, but my absolute #1 basic terraforming tip here is to not leave a flat wall. Check out that back wall right there. That's really flat. It looks ugly. Over here, meanwhile, I went ahead and dug things out and made like a small staircase. If you could take a small staircase and maybe add curves to your land right here, it'll look a little bit more natural and hopefully fit in next to your build a little bit better. Now, speaking of fit into the build here, I want to make the front of the build a decent size. We got 3. That'll be 4 right there. Maybe that'll be center. Then we'll go 3 more and put the other side of the build. It'll be a little closer to the hill. Maybe I'll have to move it a little bit more, but for now, I think it'll work. Then on the side of the build here, we'll go ahead and walk things all the way back to right there. I'm thinking maybe sections of 3 could look really good, and then, because I'm going to have such a wide part of the build, what if I made it even more fancy, and on the back of this thing, somehow, I made like a curve, right by that cave. Cave schmave. This is something we will look at a little bit more next time, but to cave. My friend, you're loaded with fuel. It looks like this is like maybe fate or something. The fuel smelting cave tied up right next to the proper smeltery. I mean, it's a dream come true. And even better, it's a cobblestone depository as well. I think I'll be extracting a lot of this stuff from here. When it comes to building inside of a Minecraft world, there are so many different things that you could do. One thing that is not your call, legally forced, is 100% by every build, set up a small station. Maybe have a bed, definitely have a crafting table, 100% have a chest. My inventory, while I've been digging out stuff, is getting clogged up. If you put a temporary chest near your build, or maybe even inside of it, then you're never going to have inventory problems again. Now, speaking of buildings, when it comes to buildings in our world, we've got 2. We got a starter house, and of course, we got the beautiful Waddle Sweet Berry Farm over here. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do when it comes to building, but what I will tell you is when it comes to building, if you're trying to make an area with different builds that feel cohesive together and fit together, you're going to want to use similar block palettes. Now, on a Sweet Berry Farm, I use a completely different block palette than I use on a starter house. This build is going to sit kind of in the middle here. To make the Sweet Berry Farm and the starter house blend in a little bit more, like better together, what I could do here is kind of try and fuse the 2 build palettes. So we got cherry wood over there, and then maybe on this build, we got like a lot of oak wood, maybe birch wood, and definitely spruce wood as well. If I could take, say, like birch and spruce wood from this build and fuse it with cherry wood and maybe something else on this new build. Well, if we've got 3 builds, and we can take blocks from one build, another build, and combine them together on a 3rd build, it'll make your base or your town or whatever you're trying to set up feel a whole lot more cohesive. It'll make sense together. And so here's what I'm thinking. We'll take the cobblestone from the starter house and definitely birch and spruce wood as well, and then fuse that with that sweet cherry wood from the other build that we worked on last episode. I want to leave the smeltery nice and open. I was thinking maybe we could do like cherry planks right here and then fences or something and just have like a big window wall. That could be really cool. In order to pull all of that off, I gotta build the tree farm. I really do. But for now, the cherry acres, it expands next to the build. Bright and early the next morning, would you look at that? That thing is already grown. Cherry trees seem to grow so quick. I don't know if it's just me or what, but like, yeah, they grow so quick. And the amount of wood inside of one single cherry tree, this is like perfect for building. I love mangrove wood from 1.19. I had so much fun with it in the last world, but it was so annoying to harvest. Cherry wood, on the other hand, it's so easy to get a lot of so quickly. Cherry wood might be my new favorite. The stuff is so good. So an open field, I'm thinking really open. On the front of the build, I'm thinking even more open. If I could carry this whole like slab stripe around, I think that would be really cool. Then for like the grand entrance of the build, we got a nice and wide entrance, 7 blocks. Maybe we do like some kind of arch. Arches in building, it's one of the most beautiful build techniques of all time. Fellas, look, to make this build look fancy, to make this build blend in, and maybe even to make this build a little romantic, we're gonna do cherry wood.
Sweet cherry in an arch.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I had to calm down. Back over at our build site with what will hopefully be more than enough spruce logs to finish up the build today. Let's make some fences. Let's place some fences and maybe a couple more logs too. And then after all of that, let's take a look at the roof. So, for the roof here, we got a pretty square build here. It's pretty wide, but like not too wide. Oh, no, you demon, what are you doing? No, you get away, That's what I thought. Pathetic. Go. You terrified? No. You afraid? Nope, not at all. No. That's all you. You're projecting. I'm fine. I'm good. It's just a baby zombie. It's nothing. It's fine. I have no armor, okay? We got a wide build. It is pretty wide. I think with how wide this build is, to be honest, if I were to try and build like a normal staircase roof, it would be really, really tall. To, basically make sure this build doesn't get too tall here, a different type of roof trick that we can do is slabs. Slabs and even more slabs. If we do slabs all day long here and walk up and then back down, we'll be using slabs here instead of staircases. Because of course the slope is a little bit more gradual, the roof will get a little bit less tall. Because every build situation is different, there's no like golden number or anything like that. But at least for me, typically in my head, if I got a build that is more than 7 blocks wide, I think it's a good idea to either make the build taller or, well, just not do a plain staircase roof. Try and switch it up. Make it spicy. It's kind of funny. When I was planning this episode, it's meant to be all about smelting and, like basically just smelting, not too much else. Fast forward a little bit to actually working on the episode, and here we are, spending so much time talking about building because it's such a big part of Minecraft. Being a guide and all, I really want to talk about building tips and tricks all over the place, but for today, I think we just about almost talked enough about building. Let's talk a little bit more about smelting, because after all, it's the king of today. In a Minecraft world, one of the most important things to have set up is some kind of proper smelting setup. Whether it's your own proper building or just an inside kitchen area in your build, it doesn't really matter. Minecraft 1.14, the infamously amazing Village and Pillage update, added 2 types of furnaces to the game. Originally, there was one. That OG one, the tried and true trusty one. This has been in the game since the whole time the game's been a game. The furnace. Inside of the good old classic furnace, you can smelt just about anything and everything. If you got some food to cook up, maybe some ores to smelt, or just blocks that you want to turn into other ones, the furnace is the best spot to start. In fact, actually, when it comes to smelting a block so you can make other blocks, like say stone cutters, the furnace is going to be the only way you can go. It's a great idea to add a couple of these things to your setup to speed it up. In your world, once you've worlded it a little bit, you're going to probably end up going mining, and hopefully find some iron. Now nowadays, once you find that wonderful iron in mining, you're going to get an item called raw iron. If you want to use the iron, you have to smelt the iron. You got options here. You can go over to your plain old classic furnace and smelt it. It'll work. Or, if you want to speed things up and be a little bit more fancy, you use a blast furnace. A blast furnace is basically an ore furnace. It'll smelt these things twice as fast. Now, there is a little bit of a misconception when it comes to these other furnaces. Unfortunately, they're not like more fuel efficient or anything. They literally just cook whatever you're cooking a little bit faster. A little bit of a side note here, but I remember when these things were first being added to this game, and to be honest, to this very day, I still think the mechanic is a little bit flawed. Like, I guess it's nice that it smelts faster, but it should totally be a little bit more fuel efficient or something inside of these special workstations. The vital one that we need to talk about is the smoker. The smoker is all about smoking your meat. This boy cooks food just a little bit faster. Oh, well. This is interesting. That's what I'm saying. Don't mind if I do a little bit more iron for the setup. Oh, I like it. We love to see it. Anyways, this is about smelting but stone cutter. Check this out. Instead of a crafting table, if I make staircases, I get 4 for 6 blocks. Instead of a stone cutter, the ratio is 1 to 1. If you are a Minecraft builder, simply put, the stone cutter is your favorite block in the entire game. Check this out. Up on top of my build, I did the outline technique. I've got the spruce wood on the outside of the build. I put the birch in the middle. That's going to make this build feel similar to the starter house. And then with the cherry, it's similar to the farm. But I can't lie, the roof is a little flat. One of my favorite build tips of all time is this one right here. We start with a solid block, then we place a staircase. Then we place another staircase, turning like that. We go around and do it again, we go around and do it again. It all connects just like that, and this is by far one of the most beautiful chimneys. That one over there, trash, garbage. This one.
Oh, it's stunning. It's wonderful.
Next time you're building a build in your world, please do me a favor. Tomorrow, a week from now, it doesn't matter. But if you got a flat part of your roof, go onto that roof and please add a chimney to the roof. Do this little staircase trick right here and then just step back in awe and beauty. Doing a chimney on a roof and then doing the staircase on the top of the chimney, it just adds so much to it. Logistically speaking, this is a smelter with a couple chimneys on the roof right there. It is still flat for sure, but maybe it's a little bit better looking. I like it. Furnaces. We got 3 different types. We got one for the food. We got one for all of the ores in the world. And then we got one for everything and anything. But what about fuel? In Minecraft, the most basic fuel smelts in multiples of 8. I personally consider the most basic fuel coal or charcoal. If we put one piece of coal in a furnace, it will smelt up 8 things. This could be 8 cooked mutton. This could be 8 pieces of iron. This could be 8 blocks. Doesn't matter, but 8. When it comes to fuel, you've got options on options on options. There are so many different types of fuel in Minecraft that you could use to smelt up whatever you're trying to smelt up. Throwback rewind. Back in episode 1, when I needed a little bit of fuel, I was smelting logs with the logs. I don't know how I always do this. Look, I don't know how I always do this, but you should never smelt a log with the log. Instead, smelt the log with the planks for the other type of beautiful fuel. If you're looking for a little bit of fuel without wasting anything at all, place 3 logs on the top of the furnace, 2 planks in the bottom, and you'll get 3 charcoal. Now, absolutely, do not try and memorize these numbers. It's pointless. Just look them up when you need them. But 1 plank will smelt about 1.5 items. Coal, that's easy to remember. That'll smelt 8 items. The only difference between coal and charcoal is the fact that coal can be crafted into a block of coal. There is no block of charcoal. But coal isn't the only way. In fact, it shouldn't even be the way long term. Once you're in your world for a long time, you're going to want to level things up. See, don't get me wrong, coal is nice. Like, with a Fortune 3 pickaxe, you could go down into the caves, mine a little, come out with a lot, and definitely be able to use all of this for all of your smelting needs. But once you get a little bit further out in your world, a point that we'll get to eventually, there are so many other better fuel options. If you're a lot further than me in your world and you're looking to level up your smelter setup, definitely consider blaze rods. By heading into the nether, setting up some kind of blaze farm in your world, not only are you going to have a really good farm for getting experience, but also you're going to have a great farm that yields you a really nice fuel, the blaze rod. The blaze rod and all these other fuels are going to break out of that multiples of 8 thing that you have with the coal. One single blaze rod can be used to smelt up to 12 things. However, you can make things even better by either going back to the nether and going down low, or just running around in your overworld and being careful. Back inside of our world here, check it out, with so much iron inside of the inventory. In fact, over a stack. It's absolutely time for a first bucket. When I was building a starter house, I almost had a terrifying incident with a hole in the ground. The hole was right over here. I had to cover it up. Down there, down low in the hole, we got lava. Oh my gosh, this is... I mean, look, lava is definitely taking a 0 to 100. Call me cheap, whatever, but I don't want to use this lava inside of the furnace quite yet. I want to save the bucket for something else, but if I did, 100 items. 100 total. Using a bucket of lava, especially if you have a lava farm set up inside of your world, is genius. Big brain. Now, the only downside to the whole lava thing here is it could be a little bit tricky to get, especially early on in your world. If we're talking about basic smeltery, do not use lava. It's just, like, expensive. But if we're talking about a fancier one late game, maybe automatic super smelter, we'll build it later, then absolutely 100% use lava or blaze rod. But did you know there's one more that's always forgotten? And I mean, I'm not talking about the block of coal. That'll smelt 80 items. Really good. Next time you're in your world looking for really good food, throw kelp in the furnace and cook it up into dried kelp, and then absolutely, in fact, 100%. Do not use the dried kelp for food. It's terrible. Instead, use the dried kelp for even more dried kelp. And take the dried kelp inside of a crafting table and craft it into a block. One single block of dried kelp will smelt up to 20 things. And it's so easy to farm too. Looking back, I feel like the dried kelp block was added relatively late in the update cycle of 1.13, and I kind of always forget that you could actually use the dried kelp block for something in the game. It's not just like a strange building block or something like that. It's actually a really good smelting thing. It's a nice smelting thing to have, but it's also just something that unfortunately we're not going to be able to get to today. Now, speaking of today's build, I've been progressing it slowly while we've been talking about smelting and everything like that. To finish it up, we need a little bit of a better floor on the inside. I was thinking coarse dirt. I think coarse dirt would look really, really good in here. After all, I want to keep it open, and with it being like open to the outside world here, coarse dirt, path blocks combination in there, it'll blend perfectly into a road that I'll add in later. The only downside, I guess, to using coarse dirt here is 100% I'm going to need to go find a gravel deposit somewhere nearby to get a little bit more of this stuff, but that's no big deal. Gravel. Where could you be? I know 100%. I think there's a lot sitting here. I don't want to take the stuff on the surface, but down here, sure. And you know what? While we're out and gathering resources, I might as well get a little bit more leaves too. I want to make this build look beautiful. I'm almost tempted to leave this cherry tree here. Like, what do you guys think? It's so beautiful. It's so random, but I just love these things. They're so nice. For now, here's what I was thinking. Just because I'm not really in that excess mindset, I'll just spill it out of the build a little bit, and I think it'll look nice. Maybe add a couple more paths in here or something, but yeah, for now, that'll do. Outside of the build, I mean, it's looking pretty nice. I turned a couple logs to try and detail it, but maybe to detail it even more, I could come back in with a very beautiful type of cobblestone variant. We don't have it quite yet. Or since I don't have that variant quite yet, I could at least add a couple bushes out front. That'll help. And speaking of bushes, to make it come to life even more, we got real bushes thanks to the farm over there. Now over here inside of the build, while I've been working on it today, I've been slowly throwing in more details. I think we're like looking pretty good. I know for sure, another thing I like to throw into the build here is another blast furnace. We're gonna be smelting, caving really, really soon, so the more furnaces you can add, the better. Yeah, by the way, with this stuff, it's smarter to work smart. Like, if you have a lot of blocks you're trying to smelt up, instead of loading them into one furnace and just waiting and waiting, maybe split that load up into a couple different furnaces. I mean that, or another beautiful thing that you could do that we'll definitely do later on in this world is auto smelting. Hook some hoppers up to this bad boy, chest too, and well, you'll be set for a long, long time. And so for the smeltery, a very humble but essential build that we'll have in our world, I think that's just about it. As we continue to get a couple more blocks, we'll 100% come back in here and detail it a little bit more, add to it, expand it, and maybe even automate it. For now though, and for the ultimate basics to smelting 101, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. The very final thing I'd like to tackle is today's comment of the day, which is all about the sweet berry farm. Another amazing use for the sweet berry farm, I completely forgot about it, is keeping things safe. If you've got, say, a village you want to defend, and you got pillagers being annoying, you can plant these bushes and let them just, take care of themselves. It's genius. I completely forgot. Anyways, check out the merch. There's a link down below the video. And smash like and subscribe for more. It's been me, Waddles. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hey, by the way, I haven't forgotten. We're going to name the cabin next episode.